But
no, it's not.
they got to do something about the defense.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just
fourth quarter. Speaking about do something about the defense, on your head, Millette. Aren't yelling at people before the game. How'd that work out for you?
3-9. We're getting living rooms. Nick Wright right now. 32 yards MVS. Here's Mahomes afterwards.
Obviously, we're very concerned with what Travis was doing, and I looked at, I think it was Rasheed first. The safety cut him, and it gave MVS the free lane, and I just put it up and let him make a play. And in those situations, you put it up. You don't want to overthrow it, so you just put it up there one-on-one, let a guy make a play, and he did that. He made a great catch and sealed the deal.
All right, what does this say about Mahomes?
I mean, it couldn't have been more perfect. The guy everyone wanted cut.
Some people wanted Tony cut.
But they wanted him cut. They wanted him benched. And there was the play when Mahomes threw it like a tiny bit behind him, and 6 weeks ago, and MVS showed up Mahomes on the field, and I was livid. And they stuck with him. And we were talking about should they be yelling at him more? Should they be doing this? All of it. The Chiefs, maybe by luck, maybe because they saw something, knew this. We can show you the graphic, Brew. MVS shows up in the playoffs all year. 16 games, 1 touchdown, 315 yards. The last 2 years in the playoffs, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. Good. And the go-ahead touchdown in last year's AFC title game, Brew, and the clinching play here, and made 2 big plays last week. Like, they stuck with the guy. Mahomes kept showing faith, and he comes through in a huge spot.
I bet you that is what they were looking at in the playoffs. You know, obviously he's a deep threat. Yeah, I mean, look, Mahomes trusted his receivers, and they have, for all their drops in the regular season, they have 3 in the playoffs, 2 by Kelsey, who you know you're not worried about him dropping the ball, and then 1 by Richie James. That's it. So MVS, Hardman, these guys, have stepped up.
Rice has 0 drops after leading the team.
For me, it's a constant reminder from a coaching perspective is you never underestimate great players in big moments. And this has been consistent big moments throughout the course of the playoffs. And when we talked earlier about the Chiefs getting into the playoffs and what Patrick Mahomes could do there, I know Nick talks about this all the time, but I didn't realize these stats in terms of what Patrick Mahomes has done in the regular season versus the playoffs.
Let's talk about it.
I got a little taken aback how much better it was as the moments continue to get better for Patrick Mahomes. And it's category after category. And the other thing I love about it is it's very Brady-esque in the sense that it's egoless football. And if you're open, he's going to give you an opportunity to make a play.
Brady-esque, except he was awesome from day one and not 1 touchdown in the first Super Bowl.
Really?
I mean, it's just true. I mean, you say all the time, Coach, how'd you guys win your first Super Bowl? How many offensive touchdowns did you score that whole run?
I can't remember.
Exactly right. Yeah.
100.
Exactly right. Yeah.
All right, talk of Lamar next. First things first.
Oh, my God.
In all of sports.
Wonder who'll be on top.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, goes Mahomes Purdy.
Well, we're gonna make some adjustments. We're gonna make some adjustments.
Time now for Afternoon Headlines, sponsored by Bear Aspirin, the official sponsor of fans' hearts. Ravens headed home. MVP and the Ravens' dominant offense mustered 10 points. Rushed the ball 16 total times, had 3 turnovers, and almost 100 penalty yards. Not great. Here's Lamar.
I'm not frustrated at all. I'm angry about, losing. We're a game away from the Super Bowl. We've been waiting all this time, all these moments for an opportunity like this, and we fell short. But I feel like our team we're gonna build. This offseason we're gonna get right, get better, grind, and try to be in this position again. But on the other side, a victory.
Okay, Brew, who's the most to blame for the Ravens' loss?
Well, look, I'm a believer. Lamar's gotten the lion's share of the credit. Even though Monken did a good job and Harbaugh and the defense was awesome, Lamar got most of the credit. So he should get most of the blame, particularly when he doesn't play well. But I think, and again, I don't want this to come off like I'm saying the Ravens lost the game rather than the Chiefs winning.
No,
because at this point, you have to figure Mahomes was going to do something to win the game no matter what happened. But that game was there. Like, they had so many chances, and their boneheaded mistakes, the 5 15-yard penalties, roughing the passers all over the place, that helped Kansas City get in field goal position to go up with 17 points. And then Zay Flowers with the taunting. That is just that's the thing that upsets me the most, because I think they would have scored there. Now it's a different game. You're down 3 early in the fourth quarter. But the coach, they never adjusted to Baltimore's blitzing. Kansas City's blitzing. They abandoned the run game. Like, if that was their game plan going in, or if they panicked when Kansas City scored on the first 2 drives, whatever the case, I thought the game plan became horrible and for most of the game. So I put a lot of it on the coaches and the boneheaded mistakes by the players.
Yeah, I saw this as being an issue of ego. And when you've got 5 personal foul penalties, and those are whether or not you can control your emotions. And you feel good for a second, you get the taunting penalty or whatever, you feel good for a second, but it hurts your team. So that's related to ego. And then you've got Lamar's going to have to be a big passer in this game, going to be the elite passer in this game. And you throw the ball, what was it, 37 times?
Yeah.
So the last time they threw it 38 times against Pittsburgh, they lost 17-10. So now you're going to throw the ball that many times and run the ball 16 times. During the course of the season, you led the NFL in rushing with 32 attempts. In this game, you're averaging 5.1 yards a carry. So that's ego. We're going to show the world that we can throw the ball to win the game. And then you've got Travis Kelce. You've got arguably one of the greatest tight ends that's ever played. And you could argue that he's, in that top spot.
Yeah.
And he's breaking Jerry Rice's record.
Right.
And you're going to allow him to get 11 catches. Well, I get it. You've got a really good young safety. Why not double team him? They've got 1 star on this team. Why not double team him? So, again, that's ego. We're going to do what we do, and we're going to act the way we act, and we're going to intimidate you, and we're going to show you that we can do all those things, and then get on the podium and talk about next year.
Can I sell you on a theory?
Sure.
This is from the New York Post, Dunleavy, New York Post. For a team used to leading, the Ravens trailed for only basically 10% of the time in their first 17 meaningful games. Do you buy that they were too good for their own good, and they fell behind and started to basically freak out?
Panic.
So I think that being that dominant in the regular season, if you haven't won a championship as a group before, can bite you in the playoffs unless you are so dominant you're never going to play a close game. And so I think that if you haven't gone through the fire and you've just been crushing people, I know it's not the same, it's not fair, but it almost reminds you even some of the great Gonzaga teams, you know what I mean, that they were just crushing people. I know it's different, it's the NFL, and they were beating the best teams.
Right.
But it's one of the reasons I like the Chiefs in this spot. I felt like this is going to be a 6-point game, and I trust the Chiefs to execute.
Yes.
Now, on the question of who's at fault, we do have to be fair in the media. We're going to do a playoff blind reveal, and one of the guys is Lamar. Do we agree that the guy on the right has, better numbers? Yeah, show it. So that guy is known as a regular season only phenom. That guy is known as someone you can't trust. And then you try to square, now Lamar's regular season accomplishments outstrip that guy's, but that guy has been better in the playoffs. Not a lot, but better. Then we can show you this if we can quickly, Hubs. Every time they've been in the playoffs, Coach, they have scored their season low in the playoffs with Lamar. And then you add the fact that this team never gets rolled start to finish. It happens once every 37 games, 38 games in the right. Once every 2.5 years it happens to them, except for the playoffs, it happens every year. That's all those things lead you to believe that something's wrong here.
Yeah.
And it'd be one thing, in my opinion, if this was just, people are talking about this game today as if it was the Patrick Mahomes master class. And I think Mahomes was awesome and made no mistakes. The Chiefs scored 17 points.
Yep.
Right.
The Chiefs' defense, I think, is underrated. But they were playing the league's MVP at quarterback. This was not 38-35 Super Bowl. This was 17-10. And Baltimore's offense, which was dominant all year, the MVP at quarterback, could do nothing. They had 1 touchdown on a broken play. Their second best play was a damn pass to himself.